Dracaena trifasciata, previously known as Sansevieria trifasciata, is commonly known as a snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. These popular and hardy plants can withstand weeks of neglect while maintaining their attractive foliage. The most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to snake plants is not to overwater them. These plants prefer to dry out between waterings and can cope much better with infrequent watering than excessive watering. Snake plants store water in their leaves and are always prepared for periods of drought. There are several ways to water snake plants. They aren't very picky. Choose the way that suits you best. Pour water into the pot until it starts to run out from the drainage holes. If you keep a tray under your pot, make sure you remove all the collected water afterwards. If the soil is moist throughout, remove any excess water from the tray. And if it's still dry, add more water and give it 20 more minutes before removing the excess. Succulent plants always love a warm bath. Just fill a bucket with lukewarm water and lower the whole pot down into the water. Make sure that all the soil is covered. When the bubbling stops, you'll know your soil has been thoroughly soaked. Lift the pot up and let the excess drain off before you replace your snake plant into the cache pot or tray. An hour or so after watering, it's always a good idea to check that your plants don't have any excess water in the tray or cover pot. Succulents need fertilizing just like any other plant, just a little bit less. If your snake plant is registered in Planta, we will remind you when it's time to feed your plant. Your snake plant will be happy with an all-purpose green fertilizer, green plant fertilizer, or a cactus plant fertilizer. Liquid fertilizers are a great choice and what we recommend you to use. When diluting the fertilizer with water, make sure to follow the instructions on the package to get the right concentration. Another option when fertilizing your plant is to use fertilizer sticks, or another form of slow-release fertilizer. This type of fertilizer will release a small amount of nutrients each time you water your plant. The number of fertilizer sticks that are needed depends on the size of the pot and how concentrated the fertilizer is. You'll need to add more in 2 or 3 months. Snake plants can endure a crowded pot, but if it becomes too cramped, these plants can actually break out of their pots. It's a good idea to check if it needs repotting at least every other year. Here are 4 signs that will let you know when it's time to repot. It's top-heavy and the leaves start drooping. It's wobbly, pale, or has stopped growing. Roots have started to grow out of the drainage holes at the bottom, or baby plants are taking over the pot. You start to notice that when you water, the water runs straight through the pot without really making the soil wet. Gently take hold of the plant and start to loosen the soil and roots. Be careful not to damage the leaves. If it's very hard to get the pot off, gently run a knife around the edge of your pot to loosen it. You can also tap your pot on a table to remove the plant from the pot. Be sure to take a look at the roots of your plant. If anything is mushy or rotting, trim it off. Add soil to the bottom of the pot. Place the root ball in the pot so that the plant will sit a few inches below the rim. Don't place it too high or the pot could overflow when you water it. Place the plant in the center of the new pot. Then start adding soil around the roots. Press gently on the soil until it feels a little firm without packing too tightly. Leave about an inch from the soil to the top edge of the pot. When you've added enough soil around your snake plant, water it just enough so that it begins to run through the drainage holes. If you've recently watered your plant, you might skip this step and stick to the original watering schedule. Snake plants are really tough, so they're not usually bothered by repotting. There are 3 things you can do to help your plant after repotting. Number 1. Place the plant in a bright but sheltered place. 2. Water it, but stick to a schedule if possible. Follow the instructions in Planta to get it right. 3. Don't feed it. The new soil is filled with plant food, and adding more can harm your already stressed plant. The snake plant is one of NASA's favorite plants because it can remove formaldehyde and benzene from the air. While your snake plant filters the air for you, it will appreciate it if you can keep its leaves clean from dust. This will allow it to take full advantage of the sunlight. Here are some easy ways to clean your plant. Mist your plants by using a spray bottle or place the whole plant in the shower. Remember to use lukewarm water and avoid getting water in the soil if you've watered recently. Make sure your snake plant has a sunny, warm place to dry off. Cold water gathering in the base of your plant could cause rot. Using a feather duster is super easy. You can also use a soft, damp cloth to wipe each leaf individually. Snake plants can tolerate a variety of light conditions. They can adapt to full sun and also do fine in darker spots. Keep in mind that tolerate is not the same as thrive, so plants in darker places will grow much less. Ideally, they'd prefer lots of bright filtered light and a warm environment away from drafts. When it comes to humidity, there's no need to mist or invest in a humidifier. These plants are just fine in normal to low humidity.
We'd wish you luck with your snake plant, but you probably won't need it. See you next time!